Hello and good morning. My name is Amber Sticka and I am the Director of Training for ABC School District. I have been in my current position for 8 years and I have seen a lot of change within leadership and within management. I'm here today with you for a training session about the difference between leadership and management. Okay, so we're going to have a quick 15-minute presentation based on that. We are talking about, again, one of my favorite topics, the difference between a leader and a manager. It is a topic that is greatly researched since it is useful to all organizations, not just school districts. My goal for today in this training session is for it to be informational and explain the difference between leadership and being a manager, as well as help provide you with some tools to help you in your positions as a school superintendent, principal, CEO, or supervisor, among many more. Okay? Sometimes the roles of a leader and a manager overlap, and I want to differentiate the differences along with highlighting some of those similarities. I hope you take away many useful things, but ultimately, I want you to be able to use this in your organization and for your organization to be successful. In terms of a school district, okay, that's the student's education is the goal, and they are the ones that will reap those benefits of having an effective superintendent and principal. I will also provide you with specific reflective pieces throughout the training so that you can see the impact that you may have on those around you and the organization you work for. My aim for managers as well as leaders is to provide them with strategies so they can hopefully become better. My purpose, again, is to make employees more successful in their position. Speaking of goals, the goal of any organization is to be successful and for the leader or manager to assume their respective positions. Leadership requires many things, okay? And it consists of various specific characteristics that are different than the managerial part of organization. Effective leadership takes certain characteristics, again, including the vision for the organization, creating that positive culture, encouraging other staff to be leaders. Okay, these are just some of the many examples. These are the three that I'm going to center around. Okay, so this is what is different from the leader and a manager. The leader has that vision. The leader wants to help bring in the employees to also be, little mini leaders, if you will. In order to be an effective leader, though, okay, there needs to be a vision for that company, as well as high expectations for staff. Okay, this is one of those things that I hope you take away from the training because it is truly important. It's valuable. It's necessary. Since it's where the leader, the staff, the managers, where everybody goes to that visions for guidance, okay? It is the purpose of the company. It helps to know if the company and the employee is on the right path. Okay, so if you think that you are absolutely doing the best that you can, that's great, okay? But you can always develop and become more. If you know that you can do better, then do better. Okay, so if I'm thinking about this, you need to, take a few seconds. This again, throughout this entire training, there's gonna be times where you need to reflect. So just take a few seconds and think about that. Am I following the vision? Am I staying true to the vision of my organization, or possibly does it need to change, or do I need to change? Okay, those are some of those little questions. The leaders are also represented in the culture of the organization, that morale. Okay, he or she needs to be mindful of this. Think about your organization and the current culture. Is it positive, or could it use some improvements? Changing the climate of the organization is important if it isn't conducive to the success. Okay, an effective leader will look at the climate, and if it needs to change, figure out how to change it. Okay, that's one of those differences because the leader usually has a higher stake than the manager. Okay, the manager's attitude and personality may also be reflected in the organization since they are a form of authority in that company, but the leader is ultimately the one responsible. Okay, if the leader isn't really caring about what happens, doesn't really care about low morale or anything like that, that's going to filter all the way on through. Okay, if that leader really does care about what's going on and is kind of in the mix of, positively in the mix of all these different things, you're not really going to have a whole lot of, climate morale issues. The climate of any organization, okay, should always feel safe. Krasnov says it should always be supportive, caring, trustworthy, respectful. You should be respected, and you should be respectful. Okay, it goes both ways. So, does your organizational climate embody these characteristics we talked about, or not? Okay. When the people are happy, when the employees are happy, the leader is happy. Okay. Everyone in their organization should feel respected. Everyone. Okay. Changing the climate of an organization is not easy. Okay, not easy. But with effort and perseverance, it will happen and it can be done. Okay, usually the culture of the organization is a result of the leader. Again, and if the organization is lacking, then the leader needs to probably make some changes. I understand that this is sometimes, this is definitely one of those difficult things to hear, that you may be the cause of something, but it is the way it is. Okay, it's inevitable. We just have to, again, figure out ways that we can change it. Okay, so maybe start figuring out employees that are passionate about change and are willing to work to change the culture of the organization. Start gathering people. That's one of those strategies that we can use. If our climate is down, what can we do to fix it? Okay, well, let's figure out people who are willing to help. Okay, that's one of those important things that we need to do. Networking within our organization, not just outside. One strategy that would result, I believe, in endless amounts of confidence and potential success is for the leader to encourage staff to be leaders as well. Okay, so if you're the leader, you're already up here. You're already the leader. Okay, what we want to do is to make everybody up here. That's all the workers, everybody that's working, all the employees. We want them to have those leadership qualities as well. It's not a bad thing to have a leadership quality. It's a very good thing, right? A leader will not lose the influence. So the influence that leader has on the employees is not just going to go out the window if you encourage your employees to be leaders. It's going to just kind of like spread, right? It's not going to go away. It'll be fine. Matter of fact, you might end up having greater influence. Okay. Influence, though, is one of those things. Okay, it's easier to handle than authority. So think about it. Would you, thinking about that peer pressure part, most people can be influenced through other people to do something. They're more willing to at least do something or at least try something than if they're just told to do it. Okay, that's just one of those human things we have about us. Success and happiness are two of those positive results of a good organization. To have a good organization, you need a good climate, right? Healthy climate. Leaders can encourage staff to collaborate when it makes the most sense and not to shy away from it, okay? Collaborations naturally brings more heads into the game, which naturally brings more ideas. Everyone has various strengths and abilities, and it is truly a good thing to utilize this. Okay, now, one of those differences is that managers usually tend to work better with people or want to work more with their employees, okay? So even if the leader is encouraging the employees to be, to have those leadership qualities, the manager is the one that's really probably going to foster that. Another characteristic of an effective leader is self-efficacy. Okay, this is not just self-efficacy. This is one of those similarities. A characteristic of an effective leader or manager is self-efficacy. I should actually change that. Self-efficacy is a developmental characteristic of leadership. Okay, it is important because it's a characteristic that is central to the leader and all employees. Okay, it's individual. It's personal, I should say. Really, to be successful as a person, one needs to want to be successful as a person. From the business side of it, the individual should want and see the value of the role as as important as the next, okay? So I'm not any more important than the next guy. I want to be successful. That's how I'm going to breathe that success. Self-efficacy is also concerned with the individual, again, or leader themselves. Okay, so a leader with self-efficacy believes they will succeed, okay? And they will be able to develop into that effective leader or manager. Okay, it is a form of self-confidence. Okay, so that's kind of a difficult thing to teach or to learn, but it's not impossible. Okay, so self-efficacy is really built through encouraging staff to reflect and think about where they are, where they want to be personally as well as professionally. Okay, self-efficacy can grow through experience. It can grow through personal development. It can grow socially, like that peer kind of influence part. Okay. Now, while self-confidence is a difficult thing to teach and learn, it is really important. Okay. That confidence in yourself. You need to kind of reflect. Where are you? So if you take a few seconds and think about that. Am I confident? And if I'm not, then what can I do about it? Okay, so experience is by far, again, one of the easiest things an organization can provide their staff, since it naturally happens every single day. Okay, so if the organization is looking for more leadership qualities, then the organization should offer employees a chance to experience that role. Staff need experience and challenges within with the intent in order to bring it back into their normal daily position. Okay, so personal development can also heighten self-efficacy because it is that reflective piece. Okay, this is another reason why I'm having you reflect throughout the training. Every question that I ask you, I want you reflecting on, because it builds that confidence and it builds the awareness of where you are in the organization. Personal development can be many different things, from trainings like this one to subject-specific conferences and reflecting. Okay, it's not just reflecting. Reflecting is massive part of your being. Another way self-efficacy can grow is through using social persuasion. Okay, social persuasion can happen through team challenges, since there's a group of people all working towards a common goal. Okay, so during that teamwork, employees have to be willing to put aside their differences and work together. Okay, that's that awareness piece. When an organization has a manager or someone that takes on the roles and responsibilities of a manager, they are traditionally more concerned with the budget, control, or organizing. Okay, so now this is that management piece. Okay, so the manager has different roles than a leadership, or than a leader. The manager is usually in charge of hiring staff, but not just staff, high quality staff. Okay, that have those similar expectations and visions. This is that area that various managers may need to reflect on to potentially weed out the staff that are not a good fit for the organization anymore. Okay, this is unfortunately one of those, nasty parts of business, but it is an important part. Bush and Glover explain that managerial leaders are concerned with the function, tasks, and behaviors of the organization. Basically, the day-to-day operations. Okay, they're in charge of that data. They're required to make sure certain tasks are completed, right? One question you should ask yourself: if you are a manager, are you effective? And how effective do you really feel like you are? Okay, 2 different questions. Managers tend to be people-focused and are interested in completing needed tasks, but not always because they want to, but because they need to, because their leader said they had to, right? Self-efficacy, again, is important in an effective manager as well. Everybody should want that success, okay? While it may be argued that leadership and management are 2 completely different things, I beg to differ, okay? Looking at it from a training perspective, success is the goal. Usually the leader has more at stake and more control in the organization, while the manager is more concerned with the day-to-day, okay? Sometimes they overlap. Okay, so for decision making is one of those things that it's a critical skill for leadership and for managerial roles. I'm sure there are decisions that both roles need to make, and usually all decisions are important to the success overall of a company. Okay, so sometimes the leader has to be a good manager and utilize specific resources. Effective leaders may have to use data to figure out problems and to find out their cause before finding solutions. Okay, another one of those similarities between a leader and a manager is support. Okay, support is huge. Support is something that is definitely needed by everybody. Everybody needs to support everybody. So think about yourself. Do you support your employees? Whether you're a manager or a leader, if you don't support your employees, you need to figure out what you can do to do that. Okay. That's a similarity between both of them. Both leader and managers need to support each other and support their employees. Fortunately, though, leadership and management are two roles that can be learned. Okay, so while they can be very different from each other, there are also similarities. Each person in the organization plays an integral part in reflecting on your position will help you see where you are. The leader needs to have a vision for the organization to be successful, as well as understanding that the leadership characteristics need to be shared. Okay, so the culture of an organization determines what type of morale consumes the company. Again, think honestly about you, the position you play, and the organization, and determine if the culture needs to change. Self-efficacy is one of those characteristics that is difficult to learn, but through perseverance, it can be done. The manager's role requires the person to have leadership qualities but be able to do the budget and day-to-day. Okay, so the manager is expected to follow and enforce the expectations set forth by the leader. Each person, whether you are the leader, manager, employee, deserves to grow and be the best in your position, and through constant reflection and challenges, this can be done. Each person has their part. Now, there is a lot, right? It's a lot of information. Overall, leaders and managers, while they have differences, there's also those similarities, okay? They each have their own various roles, just like everybody else in the company. Everybody has their own various roles and expectations, okay? It's just important that since the ultimate goal is success, you're constantly working together to get to that success, okay? Now I thank you for your time. Have a great night. Goodbye.